It was a lovely day at the Crystal Empire. Cozy Glow was visiting her friend Flurryheart over at the Crystal Castle for a playdate. While Shining Armor was watching Cozy Glow playing with blocks, Cadence was playfully tickling her daughter. She then blew a raspberry on her tummy and made her laugh even more.
"Hey, I was thinking we all play a game together,"
said Cozy Glow. Oh? Cadence blinked. What might that game be? Asked Shining Armor.
"Flurryheart and I have been planning this, and it was her idea,"
explained Cozy Glow.
"We're gonna take something in this room and hide it somewhere in the castle," said Flurryheart. "You two will have to try and find it."
That idea sounds kind of fun, said Cadence.
"You two close your eyes and count to 100. We'll hide the items," said Flurryheart.
Okay, but please be careful, said Shining Armor. As Shining Armor and Cadence covered their eyes and started counting, Flurryheart and Cozy Glow deviously teamed up together and hid the item they were planning on hiding. They both flew over to the Crystal Heart. Cozy Glow boosted Flurryheart up to it, and she grabbed it. The duo then ran to a spot where Flurry's parents would never find it. They threw it behind a door and closed it tightly. Then, they decided to stand guard in front of the door so they wouldn't allow Flurry's parents to enter. As soon as they did this, Shining Armor and Cadence were done counting. Ready or not, here we come, called Cadence. Cadence and her husband looked around Flurry's toys. They didn't notice anything that was missing. What could they have hidden? Shining pondered. I don't know, said Cadence. All of Flurry's toys seem to be in here. Maybe they didn't hide one of her toys, said Shining. That would be absurd, said Cadence. Unless, maybe, they took the... Shining and Cadence slowly turned their heads over to notice the Crystal Heart was missing. And they shouted, The Crystal Heart! Shining Armor started to have a panic attack. Don't they know what danger that could cause? He exclaimed. Okay, calm down, dear, said Cadence. We'll find it, but we gotta hurry before another blizzard comes to the Crystal Empire, Shining Armor said sternly. Yes, and we will find it if we both work together, said Cadence. You're right, honey, said Shining. Let's get going. The two split up and searched the perimeter of the castle. They both used the magic in their horns as tracking devices. Soon both their horns led them right to where Flurryheart and Cozy Glow were. So that's where they're hiding it, said Shining Armor. Let's go. Oh, wait, honey, Cadence stopped her husband. Look how those two are guarding the door. I don't think they'll just allow us in there so easily. Well then, how are we going to get in there? Shining Armor asked. There's a simple solution to that, Cadence winked. Cadence then used the magic in her horn to teleport herself and Shining back to her bedroom. What are we doing here? Shining asked, confused. The only way those two will let us in that room is if they don't recognize us, explained Cadence. She then opened up their wardrobe and pulled out a big brown trench coat along with a fedora and fake mustache. She gave them to Shining Armor. Oh, I get it, Shining said as his face lit up. We could use this to disguise ourselves. Precisely, said Cadence with a wink. Get on my shoulders, honey. Shining Armor blinked. You want me to get on your shoulders? That's what I said, Cadence answered with a grin. But shouldn't you get on my shoulders? Asked Shining. I'm bigger than you. Cadence grinned. That may be true, and it is very gentlemanlike of you. But which one of us is an alicorn, dear? She said, flexing her muscles. Shining Armor was indeed aware of alicorns and their strength. He hesitantly replied, That is a valid point. Come on, dear, Cadence said with a wink. I insist. Not being the type to argue with his wife, Shining Armor reluctantly climbed onto Cadence's shoulders with the coat. Once he was aboard, Cadence stood up on her hind legs, wrapping her front hooves around Shining Armor's legs. You okay down there, honey? Shining Armor asked Cadence. I'm fine, dear, said Cadence. Besides, I owe you one after you threw me at King Sombra. Shining Armor did not dare to question Cadence. Now that he could see how strong she was, he felt more confident. He buttoned up the coat and looked down at how the two of them looked in the coat, placing his hooves where the hooves would be and slightly shaking from side to side. He then put on the hat and fake mustache, and they saw their complete disguise in the mirror. Wow, he said. We look amazing. Cadence giggled from inside the coat. This is going to be so much fun. Ready, hun? Ready, Cadence, Shining Armor replied. Cadence teleported them back to where they were before. They were several feet away from the door that Cozy Glow and Flurryheart were guarding. Okay, Cadence, Shining Armor said softly. Let's go get that heart back. You got it, dear, Cadence whispered. Cadence then started walking up to the door. Even though Shining Armor knew his wife was strong enough to support him, he still held his weight and snapped her spine. Soon they arrived in front of the door the kids were guarding.
Hold, said Flurry Heart. Who goes where?
Shining Armor cleared his throat and spoke in a gruff voice. My name is Sherman Caldwell, official inspector of the Crystal Empire. Underneath the coat, Cadence was quietly giggling to herself.
Why are you here?
Asked Flurry Heart. I received reports of a stolen item in this castle and must search every vicinity for that said item, Shining continued.
And why should we let you in here?
Shining Armor pulled out a piece of paper and handed it to Cozy Glow. I have a warrant that says I must do so by order of the law. Cozy Glow read the paper carefully, and then she asked,
And what if we refuse?
If you have read the fine print, Shining Armor responded, failure to comply was result in me placing you under arrest for disobeying the law. Flurry Heart gasped.
I don't want to go to jail.
Suddenly, Cadence felt her allergies kicking in. She could tell an unavoidable sneeze was coming on. When she knew she had to do it, she covered her mouth and sneezed as quietly as she could. Thankfully, it was out of the girls' hearing. Cozy Glow sighed.
Okay, go on in. Just please don't arrest us.
Cozy Glow and Flurry Heart opened the door. Thank you, said Shining Armor. Cadence carefully walked inside, still keeping her husband balanced on her shoulders. All right, we're in, she whispered. Shining Armor looked around and found the crystal heart. There it is, he said and crowded with his magic. Okay, Cadence, I got it. Now let's get this back to where it should be, and fast. I'll go as fast as I can, said Cadence. Cadence started to walk out of the room. Little did she know, Cozy Glow and Flurry Heart standing right outside the door side by side. As soon as Cadence got to the door, they both pulled their hooks right out in front of Cadence, causing her to trip. She and Shining both fell over, but thankfully, Shining didn't lose his grip on the heart. That was close, Shining sighed with relief. Cadence dragged herself out of the cone. Sorry about that, dear, she said, but what caused me to trip? Flurry Heart and Cozy Glow laughed.
We knew it was you all along,
said Cozy Glow.
Yeah, Flurry Heart added. We had planned this so that I could see you two pull off that trench coat charade.
Really? Cadence blinked. Then she laughed. Well, I was glad we were able to entertain you. But this crystal heart is something you never should have stolen, Shining Armor said sternly. It must belong to the heart of the castle at all times. Why? Before Shining could answer, a cold breeze was felt. He looked out the window and could see a blizzard approaching from out of the horizon. Now he knew there was no more time for fooling around. He took this disguise off and started to run. No time to explain, he shouted. I gotta put the crystal heart back. And Cadence then stopped him and asked, Which one of us can fly, darling? She took the heart from him and flew quickly to the heart of the castle, placing the crystal heart back in its proper place. The power of the heart sent a flashing wave across the Crystal Empire, blowing the blizzard away. Shining Armor caught up with Cadence. That was a close call, Cadence. Then they reunited with the girls.
Let's play another game, said Flurry Heart.
Okay, said Shining Armor, but let's have it be something much safer this time. Everyone laughed at first, until suddenly their laughter was interrupted by a deep, loud growl. This scared Flurry Heart, thinking it was a monster.
Oh, what was that?
Cozy Glow asked hesitantly. Cadence laughed. That's my stomach. All this exercise made me hungry. The pink female alicorn's stomach growled again.
Sounds to me like your stomach is saying it's lunchtime, said Cozy Glow.
I guess so, said Cadence, blushing. Let's all have lunch then, said Shining Armor. Great idea, dear, Cadence cheered. They all went to the kitchen. Cadence made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for everyone. After they ate their fills, Flurry Heart was ready for her nap. Cadence then took her to her crib, tucked her in, and sang her a lullaby. Cozy Glow was disappointed that her friend was sleeping, but she knew that once she woke up, they could start playing together again.